Welcome, everybody. So this is our first podcast here today.
First of many.
I have my great friend here, actually, Rob, and then I got a guy behind the camera, a wonderful gentleman named Bayaman. He's a little blind right now, so he can't come up to the front, but you'll see him sooner or later.
Pretty much, we're starting a podcast to encourage entrepreneurship and to help out with running businesses and everything,
Yeah.
as well as we're learning it ourselves. So we're going to make a podcast for all the financial stuff that we can think of. I'm getting a bunch of hosts on so we can provide a lot of content.
Yeah. And he's going to do the financial talk. I'm going to do the dumb talk. That's going to be the goal.
Health, everything,
Yeah.
fitness. That's
Health
gonna be
and stupidity is my name, but whatever goes.
And we're going to get started. Very excited.
Yeah.
This is also going to be a raw podcast, so you're going to see no cutting, nothing like that. So we want to make sure that everything is just exactly how we see it.
Absolutely.
No, I need Rav more that way. Jeez.
All right. Well, you can see. Okay, let's restart the shit.
God, fucks.
No, it's fresh. It's
Okay,
raw.
fine. It's raw. It's raw.
Okay,
Rav,
yeah.
move over.
It's raw. All right. Are we good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Just
You're
like
in
how
front.
Rob likes it.
All right. No. We're gonna get canceled like 2 already.
Literally in 2 seconds. we're
What?
gonna
It's
get canceled.
2024. Everything's allowed nowadays.
All right. So the first basis of our conversation today is going to be car sharing, such as Turo. So we've been experimenting with Turo for 3 months almost.
Almost 3 months. It's gone well. First one was an experiment. We got a car. A little bit. We were clueless in it. It took some time to adjust, like rates, what you're going to charge and whatnot. But again, depending on the market, we didn't know how the market would be, right? So we decided we started probably the lowest point, and that's changed a couple things up for sure.
Mhm.
So now we're up to 4 cars, and being in 2 months, again, this is just trying to speed it up, right? We don't know what the end of the year numbers are going to totally look like, but they give you a range because as you get more bookings, they show you more numbers, right? And again, we'll keep up the numbers as we keep going along and telling you guys how to steps and see if there's anything you guys should know about in the market or things to look out for, because every market's going to be different, right? We're located here in Canada, Calgary, so 6 months of the year we might not be that busy, but we'll be busy in the summertime a little bit more, right? So everything changes.
Yeah, and it's all just experiments so far. But so far we've seen everything looking very good, and we're going to share everything from our profits, from our losses so far, from damages. We've seen it all in the short 3 months. Almost 3 months that we've been using the Turo app for.
Y'all want to talk about the hubcap? Throw a shade from over here, bro.
Some personal damages caused by a grandpa's driver.
All right, we'll get to that portion later.
He
But
drives slow and he still sucks. I don't know
All
how
right.
that happens.
we'll move on to talking about the profits
I
now.
don't know why our cameraman is laughing so fucking hard.
All right, so we'll begin with our Turo. We're going to pull it up here so that we're able to actually see it and go through the numbers and everything with you.
Hide the account.
Which makes pound.
Hide the account.
They're not going to see the video. They're only looking at us. All right, so just like today, we got 2 bookings on today. We're relatively seeing about 5 bookings a week, and they could range from a single day, which we're seeing a good amount here in February, but they can also range for a very long period of time. I think the longest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, boys. Single days suck.
Yeah.
Single days you get annoyed because you're like in Calgary. It snows a lot. There's a lot of mud. And goddamn.
Yeah,
People never travel to in Calgary. People always want to travel outside of Calgary, so it's one long trips, and everyone brings back dirt.
Yeah, and
Cleaning in
there's-
the cold is another nature.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Banff trips. We have a lot of mountains near the area, so from what we're seeing, again, it's doing very well. So pulling up just today, we have 3 different things that we have to do today. We had a 1 drop off, and we have 2 pickups from our vehicles, and again, we have a 4-car fleet now, where our goal is to raise it up to 12-car fleet by the end of this year. So far, again, it's doing phenomenal. December, we got our first car, and then we just jumped onto it from there. And so we came across Turo actually in 2018 when I actually first met my friend Ish, and we were together at GNC, and he brought up the idea of people are using car sharing such as Turo, and we didn't jump into it back then. We wish we would have. Car prices went phenomenal after that, but started now last year, so 2023 December. So for year to date, this is where we did our calculation on how much 4 cars is costing us, and the total amount, including insurance and just regular payments for the cars, because we are financing all of them, so we can use them a little bit as a business write-off. Our total earnings to date is just over $15,000. So these are not just money that we have already made. This is also money that we are going to be projecting to be making by the end of this year. Right now, it turns into we are just right under $3,000 for the full year this year, plus $300 that we made last year. Obviously, we started at the end of December, so that one doesn't really count in. Our high and so up to date so far, we made $3,000 from current trips, and we have another 12,000 left to go. And as I was saying, we have every single week we get about 5 bookings, so this is just going and going up. And our break-even price without maintenance costs is just under that $18,000. So that means if we make $18,000, which we're very close to, just $3,000 off, I think by the end of this month we will hit the break-even part where we know that even if we just go, we'll be fully financed for the rest of the year, and then everything on top of that's profit.
2 points. We are adding new cars as we're going, so again, this number is ever changing. We will never know what the end number is because this number is going to change till the end of the year, right? Another thing is car cost right now is ridiculous in Canada. That's one because our average dollar value drops. So a Honda Civic's like $35,000. It's crazy right now. It's ridiculous to get a car anywhere in Canada. Even used vehicles are above like 20, like decent years, like what, 8-10 years ago, like 2014s are going for around 15,000, 18,000 plus, that's the hard thing to find. It's hard to find the right vehicle for your fleet. My recommendation would always be
Good audio?
It's just a bit off.
Oh,
It's just because
Speak louder, sir.
the mic is more aimed towards you than Ish, so that's the issue.
Excuses.
But it's okay. We're getting audio. We're actually getting really good audio from my camera.
Okay, wonderful.
yeah, we actually have a fair bit of, well, I don't want to say fair because it's only been a month, but we're seeing that views. We even asked another gentleman, actually, he was a friend of mine, and when we were at the airport and we were dropping off a vehicle, and what happened was we saw somebody behind us who was also doing Turo. We just coincidentally saw them, they were dropping off a vehicle, and that gentleman, actually, I recognized him, he was one of my friends. I hadn't talked to him in years. We were good friends from high school, and after talking to him, so I was like, I tried to get a little bit of information out of him, and we did. He had 30 cars, and he had gone 30 cars in about a year and a half. Now, the way he has to do it is he has to go fully in on this business. That means he is full-time this, he also had a partner, and you need a partner. Because your main location you want to target is where everyone is coming in to your city, town, place. Wherever the main part is, you need to have that access for them. Unless you have a very abundant market where everyone is willing to come to you or your prices are like that, I don't see how you can be competitive unless you're going to where they need it.
Yeah.
So we try to provide that as much as possible, which is hard. And again, it's just part of the learning curve, because if I didn't partner up or you don't have partners, you want as many as possible. You want to obviously limit it, but you can have as many teams as possible, right? The big point is get a partner, definitely, because you're going to try, you're going to make some mess ups, it eases the liability, and when you need to accommodate for other problems, somebody else can help fill in when you're busy or someone else is busy.
Yeah, like again, just as Ish was speaking about, our the main place that we're targeting is airport. We see a lot of people coming in to want to go to Banff trips and stuff like that. So Calgary is a very, very hot city right now, and growing wise, we're seeing a lot of people also use it to scout out houses and stuff like that, who are coming from other provinces in Alberta, in Canada, sorry. And so just from that, we decided to aim at the airport, which is, again, we still have some house locations. They do not rent as well. They're still renting, but they don't rent as well as airport does. And so that's one of the reasons why we're able to jump so high is just because we've seen how many people are actually booking our stuff. And so giving a little bit more context to it, Turo has status. So for example, just a regular person, if you're doing Turo, then there's also an all-star host status, which we're trying to achieve. We sadly missed this mark in January, as of course we were just beginning. We were right under it. We just hadn't completed the amount of trips needed. So right now, looking at our Turo page, we actually have way more than enough stuff needed to qualify for the all-star host status, and we're waiting for them to reanalyze that. And we're projecting once we get that all-star status, and that we're actually able to be more marketed by Turo on their platform, our prices and everything will be able to be increased to accommodate for it. As again, like I was sharing you our basics, what I did was I analyzed how many days we were actually free compared to how many days we were booked. And right now we are booked around 35% of our entire availability for the year. That's very good because if we do a quick time, just best case scenario for the dates, we're roughly ranging about $45,000 this year. If we're able to do that, which means that we break way over cost, and then whatever maintenance cost comes the way, we should be good and covered at that end. Another thing we've seen just in our area, that newer cars are doing a lot better than older cars, which also makes sense in my book, just because if people are traveling, they usually want to spend more money on a better experience. Like our Tiguan, although it was more expensive, has had our best, obviously it's our first car, so that and our 2024 Venue, that car has done phenomenal on Turo. That car has been growing, it's been consistently booked out. If I'm looking at my calendar, we're pretty much booked solid for this month and next month with less than 5 days in between. And we're just seeing great stuff happen with that. Anything to add on to that?
No, I think, like you said, Tiguan, but I want to see for the end of the year, because Tiguan's a higher cost car, because you'll have more cost, you'll have more liability, and then it obviously has the weight of having possibly more maintenance as well, right? So pick your cars wisely is the biggest thing he's saying, right? So do not just get a car because you think it can be a great deal. Get a car that you know will do well in the market, right? Do your market research is what I would say. I know there's like websites who do this stuff. It's just a little bit harder to do and take your time with, right? So you just have to go all in. Like you'll see the markers, which is great because in the later, as you see like bookings that are happening for later in the year, like we have bookings already in September and other things of that nature. So look at those type of bookings, right? And then you can kind of range out what your average price is, what mess ups happen. Because your first year, like I can already tell we had already tons of mistakes early on, and some people are going to take very good advantage of the deals we gave them for certain times. Because we have somebody who booked in like 3 weeks of the month. And
$900.
I'm pretty sure it's because you got a great deal. That's one reason.
We
he
had
could
the
travel.
discounts.
Yeah, he could travel like crazy. He took advantage of very big discounts.
We were trying to monetize as much as we could to get as many reviews on our account. And of course, that's worked wonderfully in our favor. However, now we've increased prices. We're still getting bookings because they're no longer looking for reviews and stuff like that. And again, as he mentioned, like doing market research for cars is the biggest thing. And the second thing is location. The main reason why we recommend having a business partner to do this with is because if I'm dropping off a car, I need a ride home. And especially in the airport. So if you want to Uber all your trips or use a taxi, you're eating into your profits heavily. And so we're cutting costs by if she's picking me up after I drop a car or vice versa. And that again has shown us the best results for this in terms of what we're doing.
Yeah, we have a third guy coming in. Okay, we're borrowing money from his parents. Okay.
Keep funding this.
Keep funding this.
Yeah. And
Their parents are the key. Third key.
And another thing to remember about a car sharing fleet is when we're actually doing this, financing cars do become difficult, especially the older you get, because of course you're gonna have different debts onto us. Now we were a little lucky in our scenario. We have other business ventures that we're in, and so we had money to be put aside, so we put large down payments on our vehicles, which again run the cost lower, and that's why again we're making a lot more profit after that 18K, because of course these cars would cost more than that. We're putting a substantial down payment from $5,000 to $10,000 per car that we're getting, and we're checking it out. So again, with car sharing, there's also like Turo is not the only one. Uber car sharing is coming out, and that one of course has more users to it. So I think the rental car service is not going away anytime soon, and that's why I'm very bullish into this market, especially in a high growing place like Calgary. You got to look at where you're at. Other places in the USA, we're looking at, and one of the other reasons we want to start this podcast for Turo especially was everybody we found who was using Turo was in the USA. So they were giving us advice for places like Los Angeles, which again has amazing foot traffic. So those people have 18 car fleets and are making $300,000 USD.
Yeah, I was like, I can't make that.
Not yet, but hopefully, what we want to get.
Not with 18 cars. Yeah, like if I could make that with 18 cars, I would have done it by now. I would have already had 18 cars.
Another thing we want to experiment is with more expensive cars. We don't know how they're going to do yet.
Don't bounce.
Keep your ADHD to a minimum.
It's my leg, dog.
Yo, I can feel it on the table. It's messing with the video.
All right. So again, we're all learning. We're gonna have a tripod next time, so we're gonna stabilize this a little bit more. But
This is the brown style. podcast.
exactly, we gotta make sure this is raw, right? We don't want to have any BS. We want to make sure that we're
Yeah.
getting cut straight to the point.
Raw and cheap.
Yeah. And other things we're trying to, yeah.
Just
we're-
forgot the tripod.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys looking at our first podcast. We don't expect this to get too many views, but we got to start somewhere. But yeah, so growing your cars and everything gets more hard. Another thing that we're looking into is for Ish to be able to make enough profit in this business where we don't need to have another job, so we can focus on this. Like just for example, like how crazy this is. We have some, like tomorrow we have 3 drop-offs. The day after that we have a pickup, then we have a following drop-off. Then we have 2 drop-offs the day after that. The next day we have 2 returns. So if you're working a 9 to 5, this is not going to work out well for you. Another thing we've seen is our availability for our cars is open 100% of the year. So we're not holding back any days off. We're not holding off 4 a.m. drop-offs and pickups, and all of that adds up substantially. So the only way to do this in this business is to either have an employee, which costs a lot of money, or again, going for more business partners, which makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, partners are more trustable. They're going to take care of your shit. They're also going to be more thorough with it. They care because, well, they make some money out of it too, right? So their neck is in the business. Their car is in the business, let's just say, right? You also have them take care of damage better too. So like, let's say damage happens, and damage happens. We're 2 months in, and I want to say
3.
one yesterday.
We have 3 now, right?
Yeah.
3 damages.
I don't want to say this customer's name because he pissed me off, man. He didn't tell me he had damage on the vehicle, and I was like,
And it's dirty. The cars are dirty, right? So you're not able to
Yeah.
quite see it.
And he was being sneaky. He was being a little stealthy. He parked there where it was kind of dark, where there was less light, and he looked like he was purposely taking photos, like trying to be extra careful. I'm like, no customer usually does this extreme thing, and he was.
This is good if you're if you're a consumer, you want to make sure that you actually take as many photos as you can, because photos is everything.
Yeah.
However, we have enough documentation. Also, Turo allows 24 hours after, so as soon as Ish was cleaning the car, he's like, yo, there's a big scratch. And again, Turo was very good too, because we mistakenly said that the back trunk had some damage to it too.
Which car?
This was this is a
GMC
third one, so this is a Terrain, so this is a third one, so it's a bigger car. And
Turo still covers you, so it's good. Turo's good. Guys, Turo does...
especially
tries to do
insurance
it-
car. So
yeah,
they're doing phenomenal.
Turo tries to do it fast as well, which is nice. So if you get, like, from what I've heard, even if you get an accident, they'll help you rent a car.
Mhm.
If it has to go to the shop, things of that nature, so they'll help out.
But yeah,
But that's still time, right? So let's say your car gets in a big accident, you have to cancel your trips. Your
Now
car's not
also-
making money, your car's in the shop.
also
right? So
you're
that's why
paying
you
for
want-
that car too if you're still financing it.
Yes.
So the cost of financing does not go away, right? So you have to be very smart with how you do it. And that one thing we haven't come across so far that I'm worried about is if we do have a damage where we need to take our car to a body shop and we got trips after that, because those trips we would have to cancel,
You have to cancel.
or if we're able to convince them into a different car that we have, right? So
What do you mean?
like we have let's say a Nissan available, we're able to
If-
transfer them
if
if they
they're
want to,
available,
right?
right.
But again, that is going to take away cost of the business. Also, one thing to remember as a tour host, if you cancel somebody, it goes on your record. So if anybody's canceling for reasons, because we don't cancel on people, we have not so far at all.
Yeah.
But if you have to cancel, like we make them cancel. So if they have an issue where they're like, oh, we're not able to come, can you cancel our trip? We tell them, hey, you need to cancel from your side because it's going to look poorly on our side.
You well, here's the thing. Turo, you can talk to them about cancellations that are valid. Like you can be like, yo, my car was in an accident, and they'll like actually work with you.
And they'll take those reviews
Yeah.
off, right? But they
Yeah.
will be initially hit.
Unless it's like an owner who crashes his own vehicle in a hole because he was driving like a grandpa.
Hey, listen, all right? Where are my taxes going to fix these potholes? Especially at the airport, too. They're deep potholes.
In all of Northeast,
Yeah.
there are deep potholes everywhere. It's not just that.
Yeah.
Calgary, terrible potholes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Again, you're gonna run into this is not a passive business at all. Like you really need to be active in this. And
Yeah.
even dealing with customers, like how many messages are we getting a day? So
Yeah.
from today we had 5 messages. That's
Not 5 messages, like 5 people.
Yeah, 5 people
more
messaging, yes.
Yeah.
and that adds up very quickly. And
Yeah.
you want to be smart with it, of course.
Yeah.
So again, it makes it very easy for us both doing it. And again, we have our third partner now coming into this.
Yeah. All right. Not to scare you, the messages are fine. Customers are usually like willing to work around it. There's things I'll tell you, like depending on which area and look at how much it's going to cost to clean, things of that nature. Those are all
Because that's our biggest expense now, right? It's just making sure the car's clean.
yeah, damn. But the amount of times I've had to clean in the cold, it's been brutal.
We had a -50. Like crazy.
Yeah, Turo makes you take photos before and after the trip. You have no
We
clue hard. I'm
hands
at
were
minus
fingered.
50. I'm like, I'm trying to like not die here. I thought I was about
Wearing
to.
3 different hoodies and jackets, and it's not working out too well. But yeah, so like definitely.
Yeah,
And now from our experiences with Turo, I love it.
yeah.
I think it's something we're gonna definitely continuously grow on. And again, we want to experiment with more expensive cars, with cheaper cars. We want to see what it does actually well. The thing with I think our least profitable car right now is our Terrain. And that car is the one that's not getting booked at the most. We recently got a fourth car, which was a Nissan Qashqai, and even that car looks like it's getting.
It can be years, so that
Yeah.
could be the age.
Because
right?
if it's an older car, again, like I was mentioning earlier,
Terrain's a good vehicle that we have, not that many kilometers,
and it's
but
huge, it's
years.
big.
It's years, right? It's time. It can be everything,
Mm-hmm.
and don't let not just like scaring, but try not to put like an older car unless you fully have it paid off as well. Because nowadays market might be a little heavy on the car side, right? So that's why we have a blind cameraman who is sitting behind where you can't see, who's going to be taking also photos of the car, and he's really good with vehicles too, right? Even though he just had his surgeries to be unblind, I still trust him with the vehicle.
And yeah, just keeping in mind to that, again, there's many portions of creating a successful amount to make money. On a good maintenance cost is going to be another thing, right? Especially with all these really long trips for short days, we're seeing kilometers get up on the cars, right? So we have to figure out how we're thinking of either adding kilometer limits for shorter trips, thinking about exactly how to navigate that. There's a lot of videos online and we're watching a lot of them as well and seeing what works best for people. But so far, from what I see, I think we're going to make a really good amount of money from this. And, again, why do you start a business if you're not going to make money?
Yeah, again, I would still say 2 biggest tips. Have your partners, have trustable people obviously with you who really do want to grow,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just look at their nature. They're going to be good with stuff. They're not just don't want to waste their time. They're not, they're okay willing to work at times, or they're good with communication with, let's say, the customers and whatnot. But also second is you got to get volume in here, because if 1 or 2 cars are down, at least as long as the other cars are making money, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because if you have one car is damaged, great. You ran that one car for so long, you put kilometers, it was no use to you. And also you made a little bit of profit, where if you had 2 to 3, 4 cars, if one car is messed up, 3 cars are still going, or
Makes
2
you
cars are
money,
still
makes
going.
sense.
It's still making some money, so what it is then you have a real business, right? You got to do a little bit of a business, obviously, unless your market is hot, like you're making a crazy amounts of money. Like some people, we were watching this one guy with like the shitty vehicles some people have in other places like Florida or the US, right? It gets wild. Like
And they're
I've
not
seen-
even using airport. Like they're making it was 240,000.
yeah,
USD.
like for single
a year.
vehicles sometimes
They have
they were
50
making
car fleet.
crazy amounts, and I was
It's also USD.
yeah,
yeah, it's also American. So if we were making it in American, I wish I could charge American people American dollars. That would be unreal.
Yeah.
No offense, but
And yeah, and
I
then
hate the Canadian dollar
yeah.
right now. It's brutal.
So yeah, you gotta again figure out exactly what you want to make it do. So you want to make sure. And then another thing is extras. We recently jumped into extras and they're doing pretty good. We're gonna have ski racks in some of our cars. We're gonna have options for GPSs, for booster seats, and of course, like you have to think about it. If somebody has kids and they're traveling, they can only rent a car that's gonna have a booster seat. Like that's that. They don't have another option if they're traveling.
Or
with
baby
kids.
seats, whatever.
Yeah, they don't have any other options, right? And so, like for example, we just recently got a trip with the ski rack, and they're paying us $5 for like 5 days, like per day for 5 days, something like that. But again, that's like $25 free that you get out of just having extras. And our booster seats are the same, and we're seeing them get rented out. We're seeing it do well, and it's just providing more value. The main thing that I found out from this business model is just providing value. We're looking at all the big guys such as like Enterprise, Hertz. And we're checking what they're doing in the same scenarios, and again they're providing booster seats, baby seats, and everything per day value, and so we're trying to copy and do the same thing. And yeah, it's just doing pretty well in that regard. Any other tips to add on for Turo?
No, I think that's where we'll leave Turo for now because I want to have that again. I want to explore Turo a little bit more as it's going. But our main goal here as a podcast, right, is to explore different aspects
Businesses.
that actually not even just business, but aspects that can help throughout life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It could be like health in general. It could be people who are trying to do something different. Be
Look at this
successful.
guy's skincare.
I want to start.
Not a blemish on this guy. All right.
Look
So
at his beard.
yeah, I'll teach you how to grow a good beard.
Steroids is what it
Brown genetics
was.
is
But it was the roids. He injected a little bit over here.
and lay right in the beard, and it makes it come out pretty good.
It's the oil actual.
But yeah, and so going on with the podcast, we'll leave again Turo aside. We want to go into depth about everything. Well, our main idea for this thing is we're going to add in people who have value in these areas, who are good with their stuff, and then we'll jump up from there.
I was actually about health too, but we'll do like little skips and skits that are more comedy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We want to be an all-around thing, such
Yeah.
as Joe Rogan.
So
Get something topic for us.
Yeah, I'll soon let everyone know Drake's secret, but
Yeah, Drake's secret.
yeah, I'm an insider.
You're an insider. You were there for it, huh?
Buddy, I told him don't post it.
Don't post it, huh?
Don't post it. He messed up. It's my goal, but I'll leave it. How do you think he got so big? I used to work at GNC. I was like, yo, take this
I was a
protein,
skinny
creatine.
guy, dog. I was
Yeah.
very skinny. And then I was probably like this size right here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it goes pretty well. But yeah, so our future podcast, we're thinking we have a buddy who has a pizza shop. We won't. It's a big name pizza shop, but we want to go into an interview with him, see how he was able to do it, see how the actual profits look in such a pizza, hidden cost stuff people don't think about.
Yeah, as because he was young, so I have a friend like he was talking about a young guy who got into buying his own store. So what is the pace around that? What are the stats around food? Right, because it's scary getting into any new business. We have a gentleman who is now owns his own supplement store. Again, that's one of future plans. We have a guy who does social media behind us with.
And you hear so much about it too, right? You hear cons and pros about starting stuff, but until you actually talk to somebody who does it, you won't think about it at all. It's a very interesting way, right?
Yeah.
And again, our main thing is Canada is not always the best. Doing a 9 to 5 is not always the best option. And we've experimented. Myself, for example, I own a bunch of real estate properties, and I put them out for rent. And I was able to get into that market before the market went insanely crazy like this. And we just want to explore different ideas, different businesses. We want to jump in, and if anybody else is interested in learning any about this stuff, it's the same thing.
Everything before COVID was better. I'm just serious. Like getting a car before COVID.
Maybe we'll
was
get
nice.
Drake on the podcast, and then he can explain his pictures.
No, he's gonna cancel me after.
You guys are gonna get canceled regardless.
No, that's
The goal
after
is
I
to
say-
not get a big following before you get canceled.
Yeah, I want to get canceled. My goal is to get canceled.
Gotta give it 3 episodes before you get canceled.
Yeah,
it
before I
starts
start
talking
releasing shit, like I'm just gonna tell you some stories that are gonna be like offensive as shit. That's just the general.
We're
plan.
gonna start small, then move our way up from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna release my app, and then I'll tell you after I made my app. It's top secret.
So here, let me ask you for the viewership. What's the best thing you've taken from Turo, and what's the biggest problem you had with Turo?
Best thing taken from Turo.
From your few short months on Turo.
Turo, like any business, you just have to go into it and kind of just go in, see what's happening, and then do it. Because finding out real numbers is impossible until you're actually kind of in there doing it, seeing what's actually working and what your mistakes are likely going to be. Because there's things you set up a little bit that you keep finding out more and more. Like we have automated messaging set up now for things that can be revolved around timing. Because here's the thing. Some customers delay their shit on you in the last minutes.
We had what was our worst
pissed
story?
off.
What was our worst story?
Okay, I've had one guy just like
And again, nice guy. The guy was not the
I don't
problem,
care if
but what
he's
he
nice.
did, was horrible.
yeah, I don't care if he's nice. He kept delaying 1 hour after another every single
I think
hour.
it was 5-hour delay from when we were supposed to.
And he delayed it like and he automatically just kept starting to do these requests. I'm like we could have charged him. That's an inconvenience fee, right? But now in the future we will because that's
And we
ridiculous.
didn't for that one.
Yeah, you don't message me in the last 10.
You're so good, okay. And yeah, even today was a fun one. So today we accidentally misread a message. He worded it very weird, but we assumed that he was going to be at the airport at 10. His checkout was 1, but we obviously didn't see anything of it. We were open to picking up early, And then when we reread the message and we figured out what he was trying to say was that he was going to leave his hotel at 1 and he was going to arrive 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So I had the unfortunate
It's because he's
staying for 2 hours at the airport.
It's because he's just dyslexic.
Yeah, just having problems left, right, and center. Yeah, you know, he
Cancelled. Ish got cancelled.
read the message.
Sounds like he's sniffing like a dog all the time.
Yeah, I got big problems. But
Dyslexia.
But again, we'll go through this, and then we're gonna make sure that we address everything because there's ways to fix that as well. And
Dyslexia?
not dyslexia. I don't know. Maybe that's
I
terrible.
was like, you found a solution.
I found it, man. You might find it with this. We'll get some.
It's nicotine. It's nicotine. That's the secret.
Probably not.
That's a secret. I don't know if that's a secret, but we'll see. And then we'll jump on from that. What's
That's
the?
it. Again, new to com, health stuff. Andrew Tate's gonna be here. Your boy, okay? He's a secret host. Don't you worry.
We'll
100
see who we're going to
episodes
get into it.
And cancelled again.
Why?
Alright.
Andrew Tate is the best.
Alright, don't listen too much to about this guy. This guy was talking about Drake Stick a few minutes ago, so don't take
Wait,
him
wait,
too
wait!
seriously.
Whoa! He's talking about his beard. Okay?
You know what it is? I can teach you.
It's a
how to grow
secret.
beard.
I don't want to let you guys know. Okay, like if Drake doesn't give me the money that he owes me, I'll. Drake secret's coming up.
Drake Secret's coming up.
No.
Yeah. It's,
What else?
well, no, we pretty much went over everything we want to do in the first bit for this portion. Again, we just want to be industries in the finance and all that fun stuff. So we want to make sure that we can showcase what we've learned. And again, we're not old bucks. We haven't been in this industry for 10 plus years. We have a bunch of knowledge, but what we can do is we want to use this podcast to be able to talk to those people who have been in the industry that long and to take those guys' knowledge and then present it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of podcasts out there, but we want to hopefully become one of the best. And
Yeah. We want to help you grow your business in Canada.
not just Canada, the USA too. A lot of portions of what we
Well,
do.
fuck all y'all. You got enough people. We need some in the Canadian.
Yeah, move into the
sector.
US. Actually, don't move.
Yeah,
don't
I want to
to
move
Canada.
to US. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
That'll be the goal, all right? If we get make enough money,
Yeah,
we'll
we
move
love
to
you,
the USA.
Donald Trump.
Cancelled again.
Bring me in.
We're gonna beep out all of the bad stuff.
Everything Ish says is gonna be beat down. Especially when Ish talks, it's gonna be beep.
Just so we don't get canceled on YouTube in our first video. But again, we wanna say thank you so much. I know this podcast probably gonna get like 10 views.
Biden, I'll vote for you if you let me in.
Yeah, if Biden comes on our
We ain't voting
podcast,
for
we'll
him.
vote for Biden. If Trump comes on our podcast, we'll vote for Trump.
Yeah. If you let
Right?
me
If
into your
Trudeau
country-
comes on our podcast, we'll vote for Trudeau. All right?
What
We,
we actually.
Oh, that's hard.
we
No.
need money, all right? We're gonna be whores for money.
No, I am not letting Trudeau. Like, I'll love to do a podcast with him, but I
Jack me
might
for
say,
the win.
I
I
might
don't know
say
what I
something.
get.
I might say something to Trudeau where I would just absolutely destroy him.
I am pretty pissed too at him, so.
Yeah, I don't want to meet either. Okay, there's a guy behind the blind cameraman can't see. Okay, don't listen to him.
You
Okay.
can't see from right to wrong.
Right.
And again, we're gonna make a lot of politics, but we're gonna hate on every party. Like we just again we're just don't take a serious podcast, and we don't even have a name for it. Right now, I'm thinking about RNI podcast.
What the?
That's a great name.
That is the shit I ever heard.
Right, we're gonna beep that too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to. Okay, you
Yeah. Don't listen to the blind brown guy. Okay, in the back.
They can't see me.
He thought he saw a woman who was a cow, and he's like, "I would in love."
Fuck you.
All right, don't talk about this guy's love life right now, okay?
No, that was
He's going through it pretty good right now.
Well, he is. He's no, not now. This is previous.
All right, dog.
Okay, he knows too much about my past.
You gotta beep all of that out. Okay?
Basically, it's gonna be like beep,
He flippy flops between cows and skeletons.
All right, beep that part out too.
beeped.
All right,
For
so
sure.
I think we went off topic for the podcast long enough.
All right.
But the last few things I'll say before Turo is, like my number one thing for any sort of business when I was jumping into real estate or again this portion of my business, it's always better to do something than don't do something. Like knowledge is everywhere for this. Even the people in the USA were taking bits and pieces from whatever we can apply, and we're doing it. And again, the cash flow does not lie. Like the portion for this, we were not expecting this. We got one car, not knowing what the hell we were doing. And the only reason we got a car was we found out how much Enterprise was making in one portion from just somebody, and using that we're like, if this is how much the market is willing to pay for cars, we should be in the market. And it makes sense. And a car is a necessity. If you're coming from let's say you come from the UK to Canada, you might Uber everywhere, which is going to cost you a $50 like a trip that's less than 20-minute trip. Yeah, $50 Canadian.
Plus.
But yeah, plus. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, as our buddy was saying over here, and are you going to take that around 4 or 5 trips just to go see everything? And how much do you think an Uber ride to Banff costs?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what, $200, $300 maybe?
Yeah, and in general, like, again, main big point also is like a lot of people right now, due to the economy, are afraid to do anything right now. So everyone feels kind of stuck because any place you work for, the pay feels insignificant because of like in Calgary in Alberta is named the most expensive place to live in Canada now.
Yeah, not from housing portion, but
but in
grocery
general,
prices, gas prices,
wage to the cost of everything else. Somehow we pay more for energy while we produce the gas here.
Yeah,
in Alberta.
it's again going into, we can go into the
we can go into
rabbit
policies,
hole.
but what I'm talking about is just take any step towards any business and you'll learn more about it as you go. But like you have to see some kind of numbers, so to dip your feet in, but dip in hard, make your mistake, and you'll kind of learn what works, what doesn't. Because you're young and you can kind of recover too, right? Being old, yeah, I understand why older people are afraid because they might have other
You're less risk adverse.
Yeah, you have more responsibilities right now. Try to have like if you have a saving grace, like you got your parents who can help you out. That's great. If you have buddies you can work with, that's great. If you don't have anybody, you want to work with us, well, call us up. Right, we'll put in a car for you as long as you know a little bit. We'll help show you how to maintain in your area. We can help put in the numbers. Obviously, that doesn't mean like we're fucking millionaires or anything, but
Speak for yourself.
I'll give you $50 and he'll pop in the rest.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, and just going forward, as we were mentioning, is like again, like a car is a necessity. You're going to travel, you need somehow to travel, right? And so we're just looking at a market where we knew that there was money to be made. We see other big companies making money. And so we're like, okay, the only reason why people wouldn't book from us is we're not providing enough value. So if we're seeing something in our rent, we're going to provide more value with that car and we're going to make it sure it rents.
Yeah.
It's all about adding value to your customer basis.
Yeah.
And Turo, it's just the easiest way to do it. So
yeah, a big thing is though, you have to understand corporate like enterprise also gets all the corporate employees, and
Huge.
that's a market
And
and that's because they have a program with all of them that we can't get. Like we don't know how to get that yet.
not yet.
We wouldn't like again until I discover that. We'll tell you about it in the future because we'll try to explore. Right, we'll explore supercar market if possible. We'll explore other markets. It's just in Canada it's so hard because you got snow 6 times of the year, right? So having a really nice car, let's say like a fast car or supercar, how long can you rent this thing out? That are you going to be able to make the profit, right? These are all questions that'll come up, and we'll actually test it out. Again, that's all going to be tested here, so you'll find out sooner or later, unless we're canceled, then it's over. But
So yeah, just again, final regards. We'll go ahead, just do our profits one more time. $3,000 made this year, $15,000 for the entirety of the year, so $12,000 worth of trips. 72 rentals so far, in how much we are projected to have by all of our trips so far. That number is obviously going to go up next time, but I'll always give you the stats at the end of the video just so you guys know. 17 5-star ratings, 0 negatives, so beautiful from there. And we finished 23 trips out of the 72 that we have booked so far. So that's the portion. And again, we hope to continue to grow this, but we appreciate you tuning into our first podcast.
yeah, trying to get canceled here. I want all the presents.
And if we don't get cancelled, weekly uploads.
no,
Yes. You'll see me at least. I don't know how long you've
that's
been
it,
on.
peeps. All right, okay, Young Hustlers podcast and the blind guy. That's
A
it.
lot of guys in the back right now.
RNI podcast, hopefully.
Yeah, you can't see. He thought this was the front, so don't trust him. But yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you so
No,
much.
not
guys.
this R9, okay?
Thank you so much.
R.
Subscribe, like, and share to your friends who want to join Turo. Thank you.
Yes.